It's been 21 days the United States went to war with Iran. The Pentagon has essentially declared the Iranian Navy wiped out. Right now, the US is preparing for what could be its most massive bombing campaign yet. But here's a truly chilling detail. At this exact moment, while the Middle East is turning into a war zone, North Korea's Kim Jong Un just secured an overwhelming 99.93% approval rating to tighten his iron grip on power. And he's repeatedly firing nuclear-capable rockets into the ocean. Is this just a coincidence? Absolutely not. These two events are deeply connected. In today's video, we're going to look strictly at the facts, uncover exactly what is going on in Kim Jong-un's mind, and he watches the war in Iran unfold. Let's start by laying out the confirmed facts. On February 28, 2026, the US and Israel launched a massive coordinated military strike across multiple targets in Iran. During this operation, Iran's supreme leader, who had ruled the country without Iran first since 1989, was killed. Iran immediately declared the 40-day national mourning period and launched the retaliation, firing dozens of drones and ballistic missiles at US military bases, with casualties on both sides. The war is escalating rapidly. The US Secretary of Defense announced the destruction of Iran's navy and signaled even heavier strikes to come. The US justified its preemptive strike by claiming Iran was only weeks away from building a nuclear weapon. While there is the official US claim, the real focus today isn't just justification for the war. It's what Kim Jong-un, watching this nightmare from Pyongyang, has learned from it. Just 24 hours after the airstrikes began, North Korea released a statement. They strongly condemned the US and Israel for committing an illegal war of aggression. But what's truly important is what they didn't say. North Korea completely omitted any mention of Iran's retaliatory strikes against the US, and most crucially, they said absolutely nothing about the death of Iran's supreme leader, even when they reported on Iran appointing a new leader. They perfectly hid how the previous one died from their own citizens. Why? North Korea is a society run by the absolute single-man power of Kim Jong-un. The idea that another supreme leader on the other side of the world could be eliminated overnight by a US strike, that is the ultimate taboo, a nightmare scenario that the Kim regime must keep hidden from its people at all costs. So, how complicated must Kim Jong-un's thoughts be right now? History gives us the answer. Look at Iraq's Saddam Hussein. In 2003, brutally ousted met his end. He didn't have nuclear weapons. Look at Libya's Gaddafi. In 2011, he voluntarily gave up his nuclear program to shake hands with the West and eventually lost his life. And now, Iran in 2026, just as they were allegedly on the brink of completing nuclear weapon, their leader was eliminated. International relations and military experts are agreeing on one thing. Watching the Iran crisis, Kim Jong-un has realized in his bones that without nuclear weapons, even a powerful nation can be decapitated overnight. That's why Kim Jong-un has started showing his hand through blatant actions, not just words. Look at what North Korea has done since the Iran was started. On March 10th, Kim Jong-un, alongside his daughter, oversaw the launch of strategic cruise missile from North Korea's largest new destroyer, and he declared, "Our nuclear forces have transitioned to a multifaceted operational phase." What does that mean? He's openly showing off that even if the US tries a sudden, preemptive strike aim at his life, like they did in Iran, he can strike back nuclear missiles hidden on warships at sea. 5 days later, they fired 10 super-large multiple rocket launchers capable of carrying nuclear warheads, targeting the South Korean capital region. The really chilling part is the timing. They fired them on the exact same day South Korea's Prime Minister flew to Washington to discuss North Korea with President Trump. It was a show of force, sending a clear message. Whatever plans you're making, we are watching, and we are ready to strike back. On top of that, amidst all this international chaos, North Korea held an election where Kim secured a ridiculous 99.93% of the vote, cementing his internal power like a rock, firing nukes from the sea, launching rockets into the sky, and maintaining perfect internal control. These are not the actions of a man planning to quietly sit at a negotiation table and hand over his weapons. With the military situation this tense, what about the diplomacy? President Trump genuinely wants to meet Kim Jong Un again. When he recently met the South Korean Prime Minister at the White House, he said meeting Kim would be very good, and even proudly pulled out a photo of himself and Kim at Panmunjom from 2019. But reality is cold. Kim Jong-un's for West-North Korea talks is that the US must abandon its absurd obsession with denuclearization. In other words, accept North Korea as a full-fledged nuclear state. The US insists they welcome talks without preconditions, but will never abandon the principle of denuclearization. With both sides running off parallel tracks, the chances of Kim Jong-un giving up his nuclear weapons, his only lifeline after witnessing the Iran situation with his own eyes, are now practically zero. He won't lower his asking price. He's going to make it skyrocket. Let's summarize 3 facts that directly impact the fate of the Korean Peninsula. First, North Korea is using every means possible to upgrade its nuclear capabilities, and Kim's grip on power is stronger than ever. Second, North Korea is highly sensitive and calculating, responding with missiles to even the slightest diplomatic movements by the US and South Korea. Third, the most anxious point for South Korea is the situation the US is in. The US is currently tied up fighting a war in the Middle East. Can Washington really resolve the Iran issue while simultaneously perfectly managing security on the Korean Peninsula? Honestly, no one can guarantee that right now. The truth we face today is this: the US is tearing down Iran, and Kim Jong-un is showing off his power by firing nuclear-capable missiles right back at the US face. And Trump still wants to meet him. One thing is certain: Kim Jong-un will never give up his nukes. Not because he's crazy or irrational, but because, looking at the burning Middle East, he has painfully realized that nuclear weapons are the only rope that will save his life. How would Trump negotiate with his cold, venomous, nuclear-armed reality of North Korea rather than fantasy version? For imagines the next chess game will determine the future of the Korean Peninsula. I will keep tracking these facts. If you want cold, hard facts over ideology, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.